Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Manchester Explorer. And in today's video we are located on the west side, as we are going to check out Gossler Park and look for any remains of a ski jump that used to be on top of Blueberry Hill, as well as checking out the remnants of a Soapbox Derby racetrack that are still present. And as we head down from Amory Street towards Gossler Park, I'm going to share with you this first photo, which is an aerial shot that was likely taken during the 30s, if I were to guess, possibly the 40s. But it depicts the Flatiron District, which is where the CMC Hospital, as well as where the modern Rite Aid and St. Mary's Bank is now located. And I will be making a future video of the Flatiron District very soon, within the next month hopefully. But also in the distance you can see the Derby track that I was just mentioning at the start of this video. And now we're heading towards Gossler Park on this very now littered hill. I did manage to find two pictures that were taken from this general location. As you can see, the Derby track on the left side going up the hill. But I did manage to find one picture from a news article that was taken from right about here. And here it is. Unfortunately, I can't read the fine print as it's a low resolution picture. But I also managed to find another picture that's in high resolution that was likely taken during the same day at about the same location where I am right now. This picture was likely taken during the 30s or 40s by looking at the vehicles. But as you can see, there was quite a large crowd that gathered here, and also there were no trees around here. This was just a sand hill all the way up for as far as the eye can see. But anyways, here's the image. And also, I'm going to add an animated image, which is created using some AI technology that I'm experimenting with, and here it is. And it's kind of cool to see these images brought back to life. Although they're not 100% accurate, it does give a good perspective of what was going on here that day. We are now located at the bottom of where the Soapbox Derby racetrack was once located. I say once located because it's no longer a derby track, but the remnants are still here. And as you can see, it went directly up this hill, and originally it kept going straight for another 100 yards or so, and I believe it veered to the left, as that's where the Soapbox Derby cars would eventually slow down and stop. But originally, this hobby, it started, I'm not sure exactly when, but my guess is during the 20s or the 30s. And originally it consisted of children piecing together Soapbox Derby cars from random parts and lumber that they'd find, probably searching around alleys and basements and whatnot, as you can see in this photo. But in this next photo, which ironically wasn't taken from this location, as it was taken in Ohio, but it looks drastically similar to this location, as there's a large hill on the left, and here's the picture. And I'll also animate this picture. And as you can see, by the late 1940s, the sport started to evolve as the soapbox cars started to get quite high tech. The other thing you'll notice is that the racing lanes are still embedded into the pavement, as you can see them. As a kid during the early 80s, I used to sled up and down here during the winter, as many kids did. I'm sure many of you can recall that, as there'd be 50 to 100 people out here sledding. But I also believe I could actually still see some of the lines that were painted here. As again, you can see where they were embedded. That's where the lines used to be. So that's kind of neat to see. And here's Robert Gordon and his little brother, dated to 1949, building their Soapbox Derby car in a basement located on Lowell Street. But like as I was saying, most of us will recall sledding here and not using this as a Soapbox Derby track. I'm not sure when the racing ended. My guess is during the 60s. Again, I'm not a professional historian. I just play one on YouTube, but my guess is the 60s. But if any of you can recall when this was actually functioning, please leave it in the comments, as I'm sure it's possible that some of you are old enough to have remembered or experienced this. But as you can see, it's rather grown in now. And as we're heading up Blueberry Hill, which is what this hill is named, we're going to check out to see if we can find any remnants of a ski jump that used to also be here. As they used to hold winter carnivals here, as there was a ski jumping contest. But I also recall during probably 83 or 84, the city added this barrier here as children were getting hurt sledding down here. As originally, you know, we'd start sledding way on top of this hill. As you can still see pavement, as the track used to go all the way up here. So as you can imagine, they got some pretty good speed rolling down this hill. I could imagine, you know, I had an ice runner sled. I probably hit 40 miles an hour going down this hill as an 8-year-old kid. It's kind of dangerous when you think about it, especially if you hit somebody. But as far as the location of the actual ski jump track, you know, obviously I wasn't around during that time period. But I asked a few people online, or I put the question online, and I got various answers. Someone told me it went down this side towards where the school is now located, but I don't know if that's where it was. I really don't. As there's another section here that just seems more groomed, and more likely this was used as the location for the ski jump. Again, I'm not positive, but my guess is that it was right here. But if it was at the other location, I apologize. I do have a few photos as well as one authentic video, and I'll throw in an animated video as well of people skiing off of this jump. I also managed to find a photo that was taken from approximately this location, and it shows this entire area. As you can see, West High School in the distance. I can't recall what year the photo was taken, but it was at least 70 years ago, and here's the photo. I'm now at the bottom of Blueberry Hill, and I'm trying to find where the location of that ski jump was, as someone did mention that it was on this side of the hill, although I'm not sure about that, because the grade of the hill here is it's not smooth, let's put it that way, as it varies from flat to steep. It's all over the place. I don't know if you can see it. You'll definitely see it if you're watching this video on a big screen TV, but I do not think the ski jump was located on this side, as this is also not the top of the hill up here. So I do believe it was on the other section that I walked down. Again, I'm not 100% positive, as I was not around back then. But if someone is 100% positive, please mention it in the comments. I'm going to guesstimate and say that the ski jump was on this trail. As you can see, the top section of this hill, it has a much steeper grade, and then it kind of transitions to this more even grade, as I can see a ski jump being on top of this hill. But anyways, here's a picture of someone launching themselves off of this hill. I'm not exactly sure when the picture was taken, but here's an AI image that animates this person jumping off the hill as well. And as you can see in that photo, there was quite a large crowd that gathered at this winter carnival to see people jump off this ski jump. As back then it was quite a spectacle, as people, you know, they didn't have the internet, cable TV, or video games, or endless streaming content to keep themselves entertained. So people used to actually gather and socialize and do things. But before we end this video, again, please like and subscribe, as I really appreciate it. But we're going to end this video depicting some real footage of somebody jumping off of Blueberry Hill. And here it is. And again, thank you all for watching. Again, I really appreciate it, and have a good night.